Sometimes when I feel blue, no, I'm not in the best of moods. Often I've been misunderstood, but frankly I'm not that amused. Sometimes when I feel blue, I'm like someone
The album, for some reason, as a local album, it received quite interesting attention when it came out. Doing this concert is for me to celebrate those glory days, and also for my fans and friends, you know, to come and enjoy the songs all over again. Because I've not played these songs for a long time. In fact, in this concert, I'm playing the whole entire album. Some of the songs I've never played live before. I only played a few popular ones, you know, like Sometimes When I Feel Blue, Anything For You, Mama, I Can't Breathe On. So now I'm trying to capture the whole essence of the album live, and I'm playing with the band that backed me up, the Healers. I wrote Mama, I Can't Breathe. I was on a flight back from KL, and then you open the free newspaper to get Straits Times, you know, and they go like, Singapore bans chewing gum. And that kind of that was that line, you know, I cannot chew what I want to, Mama. I have to watch what I eat now, you know. So that kind of started the song. So the element of protest in the album was quite obvious lah. What I spoke about on the album is still relevant today, just slightly different context, you know, different storylines. Like Mama, I Can't Breathe is all about I'm getting stifled, I want to get up. And you still hear that. You still hear that from younger people, young adults who want to go out and explore the world, and maybe they feel there's not enough avenues for them here, you know. And songs like Full Moon Over Marina Bay about social ills, and the storyline may change a bit here and there, but the problems exist. I spoke about teenage suicide in that song, and it's still ongoing. So sadly, the song is still relevant, you know. I started writing in Malay, but somewhere in my teenage years, I discovered made in Singapore English music. So you had Zekang Lounge, Chris Ho, you know, Heritage, and then even Dick Lee started making records. So I went like, there's another angle. And then you started kind of experimenting. And then so when I was doing my A-levels, I was already writing songs in English and getting all my classmates to play with me, you know. But what really gave me the breakthrough was when I met Ramli Sarip in '87 at Warner Music office in Tan Boon Liat building. And at that time I was sending out my demo. I was making cold calls to production houses saying, hey, look, I got this English song, do you want to hear? I was 17, 18, you know, and going through Yellow Pages. So I went to Polygram, they rejected me. I went to Warner Music, and then I met Jimmy Wee. He said, you know, I've heard your songs are quite good, but you can't sing, you know. And then so I go like, why don't you leave your cassette here? Obviously the demo was in cassette form, and then we'll see who can sing it. Me being, you know, egoistic teenager, I'm like, no, I'll just take it all back. At the point when I took the cassette back, I turned around, Ramli Sarip walked in. At that time, he already released his second solo album, the big one, Bukan Kerana Nama, which made him into a huge household name as a solo act. He's already a big name with Sweet Charity. This is the point where marketing comes in. So I turned and said, instead of saying, Abang Ramli, I've got some songs, I went straight for the kill. Abang Ramli, I've got some rock songs. You know, I've got some rock songs, would you like to hear? And then he said, yeah, just record them and send it to the reception, I'll have a listen. So I went home and went to my parents' toilet, recorded some on acoustic guitar, a couple of songs, recorded it and sent it to Warner Music reception, and just left it as it is. And then about 1 or 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from him saying that I'll use one of your songs called Orang Kota. And that's kind of like, you know, that's when the feeling is like getting straight A's for your A-levels, you know. So it was like, wow, you know, at the age of 18, I'm getting a big star recording a song that I wrote, you know. So that gave me more confidence. And then obviously during national service, I was performing in camps and all that. It's that after, and then at the same time, I still kept in touch with Ramli and wrote lyrics, sent in more songs. So his late 80s, early 90s album, I got quite a few songs in there. And then I formed Raushan Fikir, the band, independently. Independently, we came up with our own money. Imagine post NS, no real jobs. You have to dig places to look for money. So I think we needed $6,000 back then. So there was 3 of us. So each one came out $2,000 and pump in the money to record an album that we don't know who's going to release it, because we were going against the grain. At that time, it was rock music, Malay rock. We were doing like poetry, folk, a bit of protest element in that. It's like an open mic thing. So I went out and performed all my English stuff, 3 songs. That got front page on Straits Times entertainment section. Sharon Lim wrote Folk Power. That got the attention of Jimmy Wee, who rejected me before because I couldn't sing. Now maybe my singing got better now. So I think about a few weeks later, I sat down with him in the office and we had a deal. I said, look, if you sign me up, I've got also my folk Malay band, master, ready to go. At that time, Pony Canyon was still new. So when he signed me up, he got me as a solo act and my band. By being very active in Singapore in that short period in the 90s, gave me that sort of cocky confidence that I can take this to the world, innocently, So I left everything because Pony Canyon offered me a second record deal, which I stupidly rejected because thinking, I'm going to go to England. Because I caught the bug, I went there the first time for 3 months and saw that I could do open mic nights and I could play my own songs. The problem in Singapore in the 90s was there were not many places that you can play your own music. It's always covers, So, which understandable because that's the market, that is the business side of things. But having gone to a place like London and being able to actually play your own music and getting appreciated for it, and basically, I'm quite good. That kind of confidence which sometimes you do doubt yourself living in Singapore, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I good enough? Do people accept me? Do they really like my music? I think the tough bit as you grow older is trying to remain fresh and being in awe of things. In other words, you don't get jaded. At the time I turned 40, you could feel the change already. But it got a bit more intensive when you got your 50s, And then you realize you can't move as fast as you can, as you used to. But I think those things are, the things that some of my friends my age suffer is also the lack of taking care of your health. The fact that you just sort of like let it all hang loose and you don't really be conscious of what you eat and how you keep yourself fit. You won't be as fit as when you're 25, but you will be a lot fitter than any guy in their 50s if you take care of yourself. I think that is what I learned from Mick Jagger. Imagine if Mick Jagger feels he's old, or Rolling Stones. I think in their head they're still teenagers. I think that the thing about music is that it is in the realm of the young, and the young at heart. You only grow old when you let yourself grow old, I think. Physical aging is inevitable because that is part of life. Your life goes through season. But feeling old is a mindset. Now I'm active back in this region, and also I'm active in schools, giving talks about language, poetry, history, and performing. So it's nice for me to find actually there's a new lease of life. And also I have got a concert coming up on the 6th of October at the Esplanade Recital Studio at 8 p.m. You can get the tickets at the Esplanade box office or Cystic. The title of the concert is Songs of a Rebellious Teen. So basically it's going back to my roots, the first English album that I did, and playing it with maybe world-weary wisdom, but still with the same energy. At the moment, I'm still happy. I'm still angry. I still have a bit of energy left.
Often I've been